lovely, lovely listeners, and welcome to another, not quite Toonkind at 12 frames per second. My name is Traditional Preference, or Trad, and today I am joined by the lovely, 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 fantastic Avi. And we've got an FPS for you today. FPS is called Getting Defensive, and uh, angst rating right off the bat should be low or none. But
This is
probably not.
inmate
We're
zero
good.
one we're talking
This
about.
is this is inmate 01 we are talking about. Our very beloved prisoner doctor. Not prison doctor, prisoner doctor. Very important distinction.
There is a very important
Uh,
distinction here.
maybe. What? Yeah. So that's one of the characters. Hi, Hobby.
Hi.
Um, uh, the other character involved in this is my girl, Olivia Liberty, the Muppet-born paladin. And so Libby has shortly after the events of the Butterfly Garden, Libby contacted Hawthorne, and in probably not the most diplomatic phrasing, said
Respectful.
that look, Gala, Livy's not talking about Gala right now. um, Gala ditched them, so like whatever. Livy's gonna swear a lot. So after the events of the butterfly, this is set after the Butterfly Garden, is what I'm getting at. Libby contacted Hawthorne somehow and was like, "Hey, I want the doctor to do a thing, uh, because yeah, I want to fix it. I want to fix a thing that's a problem. By the way, you have a problem. Did you know that? Are you aware that there's a problem here? Because I'm very viscerally aware of this problem." Um, and so in doing that, she gave a time, location. Hawthorne apparently acquiesced. I'm imagining.
Yeah, wherever Libby asked them to meet, Hawthorne does escort inmate zero one there. So Hawthorne is there. He's probably just going to be in the background for most of this FPS.
Bless him. Just background Hawthorne.
Just
It's
he's
like
there.
in between scenes, like is different like idle animations or something.
Probably just looking around.
knocks down a rack at some knocks down a rack at some point.
Oops.
It's alright. It's up to the imagination. What does what are your comment below what your background Hawthorne is doing? Um so yeah, Hawthorne and inmate 01 arrive at what is somewhat notable in this. I believe it is probably a bit outside of Toontown. It is a bit of a travel, not like a day's travel, but it's definitely out of the way, because it is looks to be at least partially a real kind establishment. It appears to be uh, a blacksmith shop. There are, uh, um, it says there's a blacksmith shop out there, and I think if you can see through the window, you don't really have to roll perception, because Libby is pretty easy to pick out in the crowd.
Yeah.
That the the small red Muppet born is talking with what looks to be a half tune a half tune gnome inside.
I guess in that case, inmate zero one, whose cuffs have been taken off of them, they're gonna look around at the outside, and they're just kind of they I'm gonna be honest, they don't know what they're doing here. Not
Do
yet.
you do you try? Does inmate or Hawthorne try and get Libby's attention in any way?
I think inmate's the one who's going to enter at least. So like
Uh huh.
While Libby is talking to the half toon gnome, they won't say anything until they are noticed.
Awesome. Cool. So I guess I'm gonna roll wisdom for Olivia Liberty Heiress, who
Oh,
is
that's gonna
very
be
well known
great.
for her very
It's gonna be great.
fantastic wisdom score. That is a 6. You are sitting there for quite a while. Um, as yeah, Libby talks to this half gnome. She actually isn't speaking common. She's speaking the gnomist language with
Wait, hang
them.
on. I just
Actually,
realized. Hang on.
just
Inmate
realized.
knows gnomish.
Yes. Fantastic. Cool. So you say here this, I guess you unintentionally eavesdrop on this conversation because this is not a very attentive Muppet. She is uh, basically talking shop with this gnome. Uh, you hear a lot of jargon about mostly seems to be like adventuring gear. A lot of talk about armor and turnover times for fittings and where you get your metals, how do you get all your real kind of stuff here, stuff about trading routes, um, anything about guilds in the area, stuff like that. Just kind of making conversation. It seems that she's generally pretty familiar with crafting and making things, and especially armors and weapons and stuff like that.
Great,
It
cause
is
cause
there's so much jargon.
inmate has no idea what's going on, but they are standing there politely.
All right. Um, is Hawthorne gonna step in the shop at all, or is he just hanging out outside?
I think it's been like 2 or 3 minutes, and like eventually he looks in the window, sees that inmate is just standing there, and just goes,
Not engaging.
"Oh, okay." And then he also he also steps in.
Inmate and their zero presence.
Hang on, what was
uh,
their charisma? 0 charisma, baby.
Inmate are beloved. So does Hawthorne like step in and like clear his throat or something?
Yeah, he steps in and he goes he goes excuse me.
Oh, yeah, and so I was. Oh, you're here. Okay, awesome, 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 awesome. Yeah, Hawthorne, I am going to steal inmate.
Not
Or no, she
literally
wouldn't call him.
though, right?
uh, no promises. Like not right now. I don't have any plans to do it now.
He kind of
But
chuckles at that.
later, who knows? Eh, yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna steal number one here, and okay. So, Doc, you ready to figure this out?
And inmate is kind of like looking at you, and like they can't make eye contact because that's just the kind of person they are. But they're just like, I suppose I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
Awesome, awesome. You got all your equipment and stuff, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah?
They look over to Hawthorne, and Hawthorne nods like, "Yeah, we have everything."
All right. Well, grab that, and we'll start looking at what they've got, and try and figure out what's going to work best for you. I'm going to need you to answer some questions, just like what type of stuff you prefer. How much mobility do you really need, and would you prefer to, be able to stay quiet? On one hand, I would like you to be able to stay out of the way, but also if like someone doesn't see you and that's like a whole thing. I've already got tabards and stuff commissioned and ordered, so those are ready already. We're gonna need to figure out which what sort of set you want, and then they'll alter it to fit you with the. You're getting a Gambison at least. Like you can't. I'm not. You're not getting out of that. So,
Gambison?
yeah.
Do I mean Avi know what that is? Hang on a second.
um, it is a type of armor made out of many heavy layers of linen, sort of all quilted together.
Okay, yeah, so inmate has no idea what that is. I mean, I could roll
She's like,
history.
yes, a Gambison. Uh, I mean, you could roll history, but also I get the feeling number one was bookish even before being locked in prison for a very long time. Um, you're welcome to roll history though.
That was an
Eight.
8.
That was an eight. Um, Gambison. Yeah. Maybe it is clothing question mark. You're not quite sure on that one. It might not be. It might be some sort of like beverage. You don't know.
I don't know if inmates gonna say anything. They have trust in Libby, whatever they're here for.
Uh, yeah. Gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm just one shot by like trust in Livy. Anyway.
Whether or
Um.
not that's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, she's gonna do her best. But a little oblivious. Ha. She's like, all right. Do you have a shield already? I've never seen you pull one out. I mean, well, like not pull one out because real kind and all that stuff like that. But do you have a shield technically at least already? Because we'll need to get you one if you don't have one already. Hmm.
Okay, here's the fun part because we did talk about this in
Yeah.
DMs. Uh, Mechanically, inmate does have a shield, but they're still a doctor, so it's probably just like the tin of a first aid kit.
Does inmate pull it out?
You know what? I think they do.
She's like, is this a shield? The pigeon meme. Is this a shield?
This is the
Oh.
closest to what I have.
Well, I mean, it fits in with your whole theming. Yeah, that can totally work. It's sort of because it's sort of like a sort of like a punch shield, I guess. I can. Do you know how to use shields at all?
Um, well, they are proficient in shields.
So mechanically, yes.
Mechanically, yes. Does inmate know they are proficient in shields? One way to find out.
There's one way to find out. Well, funny you say that. It's like, uh, do you well, oh wait, yeah, sorry, forgot you don't well, I didn't forget, but I forgot you don't always remember. Yeah, so I'll get with Hawthorne. We'll see if we can throw you through some paces at least so you know how to use that. She points at the
Hawthorne
she
nods.
points yeah. Oh, if Hawthorne nods, Libby gives him like a thumbs up. Like a really big Muppet grin. Um uh and she's like she's taking like inmates gear off of them right now. And like just like gesturing for their coat and stuff like that, and just kind of holding all of it while they walk towards like further into the shop, where you can see a whole bunch of armor on stands and hanging on the walls and on tables, and there's racks of weapons and stuff like that.
uh, I don't think I've ever described what inmate wears underneath their their jacket, because it is a
Mhm.
doctor's coat. So when they hand it to you, it's kind of like a turtleneck, but it doesn't look like it should be sufficient against like extreme weathers.
Mhm.
Um, this is definitely something someone would wear if they are a prisoner.
Libby is not commenting on that. It's fine. We're fixing it. Um, so, um, I, for the purposes of narrative, there's like a little dais. I think she said so, like, um, inmate like gestures for them to go to and sets all of their gear off to the side. It's like, all right, so gear. I've got some ideas. Because it's a little hard because you're not like. I'm going to take a wild guess and say you don't really want to be fighting, right?
They nod.
Okay. So you carry a lot of stuff around, honestly, for someone who doesn't travel or fight much. But that's fine. That's fine. We can work with that. But the whole system you've got right now, we can make it so that you can access stuff easier, and it's going to be better for longer travel if we've got to go places further. And armor, of course. You are Doc number one, my dear Doc.
Yes.
You are so squishy. You, I like, I, you, we cannot. You give me like an anxiety attack every time we get into battle because like someone's just gonna hit like a stray arrow is going to hit you and you're going to like collapse, and I don't want that. That's not good. We need our healer to not die. That's like the first part. It's the first thing. The first thing of adventuring. And she's like talking. She's just like rambling as she's going. She's going around. She pulls a set of armor
Uh,
like off the wall.
I will say, even if she's like rambling, Libby says that you are so squishy. Hawthorne doesn't like laugh. Like he doesn't laugh out loud, but he definitely like smiles and like tries to hide the fact that he's smiling. He's still in the background.
Um,
But
Libby does not notice.
but inmate 01 is listening to you attentively as you speak, and he is watching you, and they are watching you as you pull different things off
Mhm.
and whatever it is you're doing.
Whatever. Um, so I think the first thing, she's like, all right, so, two questions for you, and she's holding, I think she's holding a set of like half plate, and she's like, all right, so, how much mobility do you need to have to do what you do? Because you move pretty fast, like weirdly fast. I think it might just be a doctor thing. I haven't worked with like, you know, I haven't worked with like just like just straight doctors. Everyone's been like, adventuring sort of healer cleric or just like me. Apparently I can you can just bonk and fix it. So how much really like flexibility and stuff do you need? I don't, obviously your hands free. I don't want to give you any greaves or stuff. That's kind of just me. But arms, keeping your arms and hands pretty clear stuff, right? But how much do you really got to move, do you think?
They nod at you. They go, yes, the arms and hands need to be free. That is what I tend to use the most for treating my patients. In order to treat injuries as quickly as possible, I would need a bit of movement.
All right, all right. So I'm guessing you gotta move your arms above your head a lot, right? I mean, at least I want you to be able to climb and stuff like that, but not that I really hope that you have to climb a lot. Something tells me you might not be super great at that. And
They look at their
as
very thin, very lanky limbs.
um as Libby's talking, she's like strapping on she's like pulled up a stool because thankfully there's a stool nearby because one of the main proprietor like runners of the shop is a half gnome, so stop. And she's basically strapping you into uh this like half plate. It's like, all right, so no um nothing for the shoulders, really, no pauldrons. Ah, it's fine. I've got the tabard. So none of that. How much? I mean, you've got your boots. Leg armor? Yeah, yay, nay. What are you feeling?
I don't believe I've ever worn leg armor. They're just
Uh,
kind of looking.
make a strength
Strength?
save or check. Yeah,
Strength?
yeah,
Strength?
strength. Libby's strapping you into half plate. That's a 4. Um, so I think Libby hefts like the chest plate on. She's like been strapping on like some armor around your neck, and there's like a thing for your waist. And then she throws on like this chest plate, like she handles it very easily, and you just like collapse. She's like, "Oh, okay. All right, all right, all right. So, oh gosh, how much does this weigh? Um, all right, okay. Oh, all right, all right. Okay. Stay calm. I'll get you out of. Okay. Uh, um,
I,
and she's
Libby, I
yeah.
don't think this is going to work.
Not this one. Not this one. It's fine. It's fine. Um, we there's other. That was a six
No.
to pull you out. She's too worried about like consoling you. And she's like, "No, there's lighter armors. Sorry, I forgot your yeah. Okay. All right. Uh, uh hmm. Can you like wiggle out maybe?"
They do have a little bit of dex. I'll just roll straight dex. Let's see how we go. Okay, that is the best roll so far.
19. So I guess you like you, you like raise your arms and just like slip out the bottom of the chest plate. She's like, "All right, too heavy. Heavy armor is too heavy. Um, so not heavy armor. All right. Well, yeah, 'cause all right. She picks it up. She puts it like back on the rack. Um, and the uh takes the other pieces she'd been strapping on you. She's like, "All right. Well, okay, we can start with the gambeson anyway. That's probably would make more sense. That's super light. It's like you've never worn armor?
They just shake their head at you. Most of my operations have been in a controlled environment.
Like uh like a house or
A
um
hospital.
great. Okay, cool. 1 second. What do you think that would be to know what a hospital is?
Probably intelligence.
Intelligence. Cool. Says straight D20. 10. She's like,
Vaguely knows what a hospital is.
yeah,
Doctors work there, probably.
probably. Oh, like, sort of, like, place where they treat sick people or whatever, like a dedicated, like, building and stuff, I think.
They nod at
Right?
you. They nod at you.
Okay. So like a medic's office, but just sort of a whole thing. That would make more sense. You are not built for adventuring, and they sent you out in like a jacket. That's not adventuring, Kieran, mate. Or number one, she wouldn't. Because I refer to them as inmates so that you know who I'm talking about. Libby Libby would never call inmate 01 inmate. She's gonna call him either number one or dog. Um, so anytime I slip up,
No,
uh,
understandable.
she's like, all right. Um, so she brings you. Basically, it looks like a really long, thick, padded coat made of fabric. She's like, all right, stick this on. It's layer one.
They put it
It,
on.
it's like, well, it shouldn't be too. It's like it's not too heavy, and it shouldn't restrict your movement that much. and they're gonna. I mean, it might get a little bit warm, but also considering things, I don't think that's really terrible. I know you're sort of like used to cold and stuff, but if it gets too hot, you can always take it off because it's not too heavy, and we can just carry it around. Usually we don't use like I don't usually use full sleeves ones like this because where I'm from it's pretty hot a lot. But Einquell is a little bit more like temperate and cool sometimes, and like there's a freaking snow mountain. Well, the first thing we did was a freaking snow mountain. I've never seen snow before then. It's just a whole freaking snow mountain. So that was an experience. Anyway, um, so Snow Mountain, Gambeson, and she just like pats. You know the thing when you're like just like patting the sides, like I guess like inmates' arms just down by their sides, like Gambeson, this is good. You like this. You want
It
this.
um it does work, yes.
Cool.
I think by now they have definitely like put together what is happening and they have just rolled with it.
Yeah. Libby, Libby just assumed. She's like, all right, yeah, we know. Yeah, I know what I'm doing, what we're doing here. You do too. Um,
They know now.
I don't even know if she fully explained it to Hawthorne either. I think Hawthorne was able to infer. But yeah, communication's not her strong suit. Um, she's like, okay. So it was a bit hard to find, a place around here that did, armor that I'm used to, and I'm still not. They do really different styled armor than what I'm used to, but my mentors at least, they did a whole dwarves, all sorts of stuff. So I'm at least mostly familiar with what they've got here, and it's basically all the same concepts. So we can work with that. So nothing too heavy, yeah.
You went through
Nothing
all
too
the
heavy.
trouble to find this place for me.
Well, yeah, of course.
I see.
Is that all right? I figured you're gonna keep, adventuring and stuff, at least with us or with me, or even if you weren't adventuring with us anymore, you're not at all kitted out for it, and it's not, adventuring isn't exactly a safe profession, but there are ways to make it safer. And being equipped for whatever it is you face and deal with. That's one way to be safer. And it's not like you're going to be safer offensively. So if we can make you, at least not necessarily. Well, I'm gonna try and make you harder to hit. But if we can make it so that it's not gonna hurt quite hard when you do hit, then yeah, I'd say it's a pretty good use of my time.
I'm trying to think of what inmate would say. um, I see. Alright, I will take your advice then.
Are you all right with me doing this? Would you rather not wear armor? That's a terrible idea, but
No, that's there
you're
is no issue. I just didn't expect this.
all right. Well, glad there's no issue. I honestly didn't expect to really be able to find a shop like this here either. It was quite a hunt. But yeah. Since I'm apparently the only one who knows anything about adventuring, on this ramshackle team, we're fighting. I'm pretty sure what we're getting ready to, what we're gonna try and fight is like basically some sort of god. Like number one, let me be real with you. If that guy hadn't decided to just fuck off, after he mind controlled Gallo or whatever, none of us would have been walking out of that. I that I've been in a situation very very similar. It's not, none of us would have been walking out of that. And yeah, I I want you to be as well equipped for what we're getting ready to deal with as possible. And if this is one way I can do that, then by all means, I'm going to.
They nod at you. Sorry, they nod at you, and um, after probably what is an awkward pause because they aren't entirely sure how to respond. God help this doctor. Um,
That helps, Doctor.
they just they say, I am not the. I do not have a lot when it comes to strength, unfortunately. So the heavier armors may not be the best choice.
Yeah, bleh, that kind of sucks. I would have loved to just stick you in plate and then basically build a little castle all around you, and then don't even have to worry about it. But we can't all get what we want, I guess. Um, so all right. So really, the next big question then, I guess, is stealth. How hmm, how sneaky do you want to be?
They actually pause and think for a moment. Um, their thinking face is not that different from their neutral expression. um, uh, but eventually they go, would it be more beneficial to be able to reach my patients more quietly?
Hmm. That that really depends. I mean, ideally, the best case scenario is that I've got a tabard already commissioned for you. It's it's in the back. It'll identify you as a non-combatant as best I know. How to do that. And anyone who fights with honor is not going to target you, at least not lethally, hopefully. Um, and, if people are able to know where you are, that can be advantageous. But if we're in a situation with, folks who don't quite have the courtesy to, you know, leave non-combatants or the support unaccosted, then it would probably be ideal to have some some degree of stealth. Be able to hide you somewhere if we gotta, or yeah, if you gotta sneak up and try and help someone.
Hmm.
Armor's a lot of give and take. It's figuring out what are the areas that you want to be able to, you know, it's a lot of give and take. Um, chainmail would do pretty good against like slashing and stuff like that, and decent enough against piercing. We would be able to get it so that it's heavy. It can be really heavy if you get a lot of it. But the flexibility in it is fantastic. It's basically like chain. Do you know what chainmail is? It's she runs over to a rack and pulls off some chainmail. It's like yeah, it's like a bunch of interlocked rings that are all forged together. So it's kind of like a fabric, sort of, and it is pretty nice. It's got its applications. A lot of folks usually wear it under armor, seal gaps and stuff like that. Um, but it's loud, and it can be pretty heavy. So I don't think that's what we're gonna go with. Hmm.
Hmm.
hmm. Well, keeping your arms free. And gosh, I completely lost my train of thought. Um,
Oh
one
boy.
second. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Um,
I'm quickly going to look over armor again because I probably should have looked at this before.
I know mechanically what armor. I know mechanically what armor I'm thinking about getting for M8. But it's a matter of flavoring it and like Libby rambling about armor and
Yeah.
um,
I,
stuff like that.
I want to say that the entire time that Libby has been rambling to inmate about all these different stuff that goes into deciding armor, they have been quietly listening and just like politely nodding along. They are trying to understand. Um
Bless them. I love inmates so much. And she's like, all right, so plate armor can get pretty heavy, and the thing is, it's really hard to repair, because it's just, one big sheet, and it's not really that. I know I'll be fronting the cost for this, but if at any point I'm not around or you're not working with me, I'm gonna guess the prison's probably not gonna want to shell out much to get your armor repaired, if they even do. Um, so, maybe then it might have to be something with, like, if you get any, like, rewards, I guess, or, gifts from when you do adventuring and stuff like that. I know, like, previously you've kind of given them away and stuff like that, but I suggest it might be a good idea to keep at least some of it. That way you can keep your gear in good order. Make any repairs if you've got to, and that way you can help people better down the line. Does that make sense?
they kind of look at you and then glance towards Hawthorne, who just kind of just nods at them, and they just look back and they go, I understand.
All right, cool. So, plate armor, I feel is out. There's not a lot of flexibility in plate. And I want to give you something a bit more dense. Leather can be loud. Something a bit more dense than just the gambeson. Um, do they have? And she looks around for a little bit because she's been hanging out here for a little bit. But this style of armor is not um, something she's quite as familiar with. She goes around and after a little bit of like, I think she just picks up like armor. She's looking mostly at like torso armor, and chest plates and stuff. She picks up stuff and she like shakes it. It's like to see how it moves. Um, and just like rattles it around a lot, which frankly is a little more than a little funny to watch. This 4 foot, 4.5 foot Muppet just sort of picking up, armor that's roughly like it dwarfs her. It's just like rattle, rattle, rattle. We're setting it back down. She's like, no, that's not gonna work. Um, just like knocks on it a couple of times, um, and eventually, inmate is just standing there because
Inmate
she's
is just standing here. They are they are just standing
she's
there.
she's completely lost focus on like inmate. She's focused on one task right now. And eventually she comes back with a sort of she comes back with something and she's carrying it. Um, she's like, "All right, this is kind of close. I think they call it a brigandine. But here, and she hands you what looks like a sort of vest type of thing, and it's got straps in the front. Um, and it's made of like a dark sort of like a red maroon almost fabric, and it's got like rivet points, metal studs, sort of all throughout it, sort of arranged in lines and rows. And inmate, as you pick it up and put it on, it is still heavy, but it's not super heavy. You can roll strength, I guess, to see how well you wrangle it on if you would like. But
Pray for
you
this
can see,
doctor. Pray for this doctor.
God,
Oh, that's not bad. That's really not bad.
what is it? Do we get it? Do we get a good? If it's above a 10, that's technically a success. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I think because this time Libby is like handing it to you, and she makes sure you have it before like dropping it. And you've been warned of how heavy it's going to be instead of having it just dropped on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you managed to shrug into this. You can see as you put it on, there are a bunch of metal plates arranged in rows and sections on the inside of it, and the outside is just this very heavy duty fabric. She's like, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, you can put that on. Good. That's a good sign. Always a very good sign. And as she's talking, she's buckling the straps in front and pulling them tight um, around your frame. She's like, all right, see how that works. It should. Brigandine's pretty close to. Yeah, you should be. It should give you a little bit more flexibility than just a rigid breastplate would. But it's about the same. It's similar in sort of protection, unless you have someone who's like targeting, attacking you. Which if they do, I will be fighting them very quickly. You Most of its weak points won't really be as much of an issue. But the flexibility in it is great. The movement in it is great. So see how that works. Do you like it?
Mechanically, what kind of armor is this?
So mechanically, I'm going to say it's the breastplate. So it's mechanically it's a medium armor. It's I mean it probably weighs more than 20 pounds. But it's not like we're really doing encumberment because who does encumberment in D&D? Um,
I think
but
no, continue. Sorry.
uh, AC is 14 plus Dex with a max of 2. So depending on inmate's Dex mod, can have up to 16 AC. No disadvantage in stealth. And yeah, no strength requirements, which is the important thing.
Yeah, which is a lot better than what he started out with. Looks at his jacket that's flavored as leather armor.
Yes. Yeah,
Look, it's
it's not great.
that's not great, especially not for a cleric. Um,
No.
no. This doctor who he they kind of like move. They do light movement, like moving their arms, twisting their body just to see how well it allows them to move and whatnot. Um, and
It
then
is it is sort of it is still restrictive because it is armor. You can't like bend in half fully or whatever, but there is a little bit of flexibility in the torso when you lean forward or back or side to side. And your arms are completely free to move around. You can stick them up in the air, stick them out to the side, go, all around, stick them across your body pretty well. And it doesn't really, you're a bit more top heavy, but overall, not too bad.
yeah, I think in that case in inmate 01 they go I think this works fine.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. So your bags, you really just kind of have your it's kind of like a haversack, I guess. It's like a side bag now. Do you think does that work for you, or I have some ideas about stuff that might work better, might be easier for you to grab. Stuff that access. There's a bunch of different, sort of options for gear management and sorting and stuff like that. Would you be open to trying something else, or do you not want me to mess with your whole vibe?
I would be open.
Okay, cool, good. Because honestly, walking around for a long time with just a side bag sucks. It sucks ass. Like like I do have the out of frame thing I do, and she like reaches behind something and she pulls out like a javelin from behind a not javelin sized object, and it's really convenient. I do not know how just like people who don't have it manage sometimes, but even then, I mean, she throws it like she just throws it across the room back behind something and it disappears. um
Inmate once again
uh
fascinated by this.
She's like, I don't know how you manage without it. It would suck if I had to carry like that. You see, and she pulls the same javelin out from behind like the mannequin that she was in front that she's standing next to. It's like, do you see how big this thing is? Do you see how short I am? You can't, like, shorter javelins don't do shit. Shorter javelins are a pain in the ass. And she's walking across the room as she waves her javelin around and then throws it behind something else. And it disappears. Like, shorter javelins are a pain in the ass. You're basically just using a glorified arrow at that some point. And I'm not a fucking archer. Do I look like an archer to you? I'm super, super not an archer. All right. To I'm a tank. I'm not an archer. I don't do range stuff. Like, the javelin is the only range thing I have. I'm here to hit stuff really, really close. she walks away. She's just talking as she walks around the shop, and she comes back and brings like a backpack for you, and there's a waist belt, it seems, that wraps around and attached to the waist belt are a bunch of pouches, a lot of pouches actually. Gosh, those are a lot of pouches. And she offers it to you. It's kind of honestly, it's kind of just a mess of straps, and like bags and stuff. And she offers it to you. She's like, all right, try putting us on, and we'll see. Do you want to? I've been thinking about this a lot. Don't worry about it. I think just gear, quit equipment. This is my job, like literally my job. Um, and based on what I know of other healers, and stuff like that I've worked with, I also kind of based around, magic users that have a lot of material components, which is another component that people really don't use in D&D, but for Fantasyland flavoring, because Libby comes from a kind of hard fantasy sort of background. Material components are a thing. She's like, usually those sorts of casters, like, basically are like a walking, like, pocket shop. I don't know how they remember where everything is. I can barely remember where everything is, and I really only have one place that I put stuff. So she's talking as, like, presumably as you're putting it on.
No, yeah, they are like
Do
putting
you
it
want to
on and
roll?
like roll
Do
what?
you want to? Do you want to roll? Like, I'd say intelligence, wisdom, or dex, just to wrangle all of these straps. Because I don't know if you've, like, I don't know if,
Well,
yeah,
their best stat is wisdom. I guess.
yeah.
Here we go. Oh, hun. That's not great. But like,
A 12. I mean, it's above a 10. It's technically a success. I think you get
they're
it on, but
trying.
there's like
They're
they're
trying.
trying. Libby continually forgets that not everyone knows what she knows. I think you get it on, but there's like some straps that are twisted, and like you're not sure where this one strapped into, or like how this one went, and there's like it's crisscrossed a little bit, and it's kind of awkward.
I think in
And
this
Libby looks
case,
up from,
I think in this
yeah.
case, inmate was trying to listen as Libby was speaking, but like eventually, I think at this rate, they just go, Libby, and they just kind of look down at the mess.
She's like, oh dear. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So this one goes over here, and this one that doesn't go. Where did this come from? How did you? Okay. Um,
They are trying so
she's
hard, Libby.
um, Libby's not making it terribly easy. Um, D20 plus 13. That's not much better to help. Um, that was a 13 to help untangle these straps. Um,
I mean, it's better than a 12, so
it's better than 12. I think it takes her a while too, though. I think part of it is she starts trying to help you while she's still on the ground, and only like halfway through does she remember to get the stool. She's trying to like reach your shoulders, and I feel like inmate, like upon realizing that inmate is that Libby is trying to like reach straps up higher, would like crouch down, but that makes the rest of it a mess. And so it's just
you're trying so hard.
Libby's like, oh, okay, no, okay, that no, wait, don't do that, because it's a let me. There's a stool. Um, she grabs the stool. She's like, all right. And she's not quite at your eye level. She's a little bit below it now. But she's much closer than normal, which is very far down. Um,
I forgot how tall I made this doctor. I think they are like 5'11 ish. I need a double check.
Yeah, Libby is like 4.5 feet. I think she's 4'5" is what I put her at.
Oh no, they're 5'7", excuse me. 5'11 is
Okay,
the other one.
the other one. Great, like that number, like that inference. Um, so if they're 5'7", Libby's actually probably just about at eye level, and she's like, all right, and she's standing in front of you, and very gently and carefully arranging a strap. She's like, all right, this one goes on like this, and these go like that. This ties into here. We might be able to get some clips. So what I was thinking, and you tell me if this works or not. Okay. But you have stuff that you need to get at a lot, right? Stuff that you use pretty often. So, and along with other things that you might need that aren't necessarily med like healing supplies related. And you can put those in these. And she kind of like not slaps, but she's like pats the bags at your hips that kind of uh there's some that kind of strap um that fall down a little bit and hit like to inmates like thighs and stuff like that, but most of them are centered around the waist. It's like, and so you can put the stuff that you access most often in here, and that way you won't have to move anything around too much to get to them. And the belt, and she's like poking and like shuffling and moving everything around as uh, she talks about it, which is probably a little weird because as you've known Libby, she's not terribly touchy. Um, she's not, really a touchy feely kind of person. But when it comes to the gear and equipment and stuff she's talking about, she's pretty liberal about you know gently like handling you and touching things and getting close and up in your space. Um, just not necessarily like just sort of in an absent-minded way. Um, and she's like, and the belt will help distribute the weight along your hips. So when you are going long distances or traveling or going places, you don't want too much weight up here. And she plops her hands on your shoulders. She's like, because this is just going to pull you back or pull you forward. It's going to unbalance you basically. And she kind of rocks inmate back and forth with her hands on their shoulders.
They are a twink. They move pretty easily.
She's like, oh God. Okay. Yeah. She gets like this look of like horror on her face. She's like, oh my gosh. God, I know you're squishy and I know you're thick, but you are so fragile. You are so malleable. You are you're taller than me, but you're just a little doctor. She's like, all right, okay, yeah, see, definitely with you, definitely no. We want to take as much weight up here as we can, and she like prods her index fingers at their hips. He's like, and we want to put it here, right, sort of where your legs are, so you can shift and move more easily and keep your balance better. So belts, and she prods the balance. Like belts help with that. That will help keep the weight distributed around your hips, even for stuff on the backpack. So we don't want the straps sitting too heavy on your shoulders. You want most of the weight distributed on your hips. And the belt bags and your hip bags are going to help move that down there. But there's some bigger stuff I've noticed that you carry because, whatever. and stuff that you don't use quite as often, or stuff that you won't really need to access if we go on any, longer things where you need a bedroll, or stuff that you won't really get out if unless we're making camp and stuff like that. And that you can put in here, on here in the backpack. But if there's stuff that you need to access quickly, like for doctorly things, I guess, I was thinking I could have them rig up some sort of strap system that would release it, and you can just sort of pull it off easy, and set it down. Maybe it like open, and you can do that sort of thing. But I don't know how your whole system works. This is all based on a lot of guesswork. So do you think that would work? Or
It,
what's your thoughts?
uh, I think inmate, as you were talking, inmate has been like absent-mindedly like reaching their hands to the pouches and like trying to get a feel for them. So like they can
Mhm.
already start like mentally mapping where they are going to put what. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and you can actually see that there is. I'm not gonna make you roll insight for this, but there is definitely a lot more thought behind their movement now,
Mhm.
because this is part of like what they do. They are a doctor. This is important for them to keep in
So,
mind if they want to help their patients. So they are like very
ah,
very seriously like considering everything, and eventually they just say, this is a lot more efficient than what I originally had.
it's the idea. The quicker that you can do your doctor stuff, the quicker you can get out of danger and back behind front lines, or you can help move the person or something like that. But it's efficiency. Efficiency is the name of the game. She pats your shoulder, and climbs down from the stool. She says, "So, efficiency, name of the game. Also, conditioning is also the name of the game. I the packs, I had some modifications made already. So, those, if you think this setup will work for you, then I think you can take this with you and then sort all of your stuff into it, later on your own time, figure out what works best. Since you're wearing a brigand, I don't think we'll actually need terribly much in the way of altering, since if you weren't wearing the gambeson and she pats your arm, you definitely would be, because you are a twig. You are just stick. You are not. There's no meat on your bones. You got to fix that somehow. Or Hawthorne, you got to fix that. So,
He
but
gives
the
you a
gambeson.
thumbs up.
Libby gives a thumbs up back. She's liking Hawthorne more and more. She's like, so uh, so the Gambison helps pads you out. Honestly, the armor's in really tight right now, but as sort of um, fill out more, and with any sort of, I don't know, growing. I guess you're probably still growing, huh? Um, the brigand will, it's strapped, so it'll, fit you better then. Think so. Oh. Take that off. Take that off. And she points at the backpack and the straps that inmate is wearing. It's like, take that off. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. and she runs out of the room, like
They
ducks behind the counter or something.
they kind of like watch where she goes and then just starts taking it off. They're just like, okay, this is happening now.
Do you want to roll again to see how well you manage to remove
Yep, we're gonna do this,
this backpack?
baby. Oh, wow. So once you get it on, you finally understand how it works, huh, mate?
Aw. Okay, yeah, that's a 22. They super understand. They were paying very close attention when Libby was putting it on before, and helping them sort it out. She's like, "All right, all right, all right." And as they're, I guess, setting it off to the side, she peels around the corner again. And just for kicks, I'm gonna make a dex uh
Oh no.
save.
Oh no.
'Cause she's okay, 16.
Okay.
Um, she comes around the corner really fast. And like so fast you think she might run into something. But like at the very last minute she like banks to the side out the wing. She's like, "Well, okay, okay. Okay, okay. All right. Here. This tabard. So this is going to go on over your armor, because you don't really have anything right now that identifies you as a doctor, and that's not great. Because you might get mistaken as a combatant, and we don't want that. We want people not to hit you if they do. So, here, uh, try this on. And she hands you up a tabard. It's sort of a. I mean, I'm assuming most. Okay, I was gonna say I'm assuming most folks will know what a tabard is, but then I realized my frame of reference is not necessarily the one everyone would have. Um, but
I think I know what it is. I just
um,
need to like make sure that I know. Hope
yeah.
I spelled that
Um,
right.
basic. Basically, it's sort of. It's like a big, sort of a
Oh.
loose tunic. Yeah,
Yeah.
with
Okay. Yeah. I know what it is.
yeah, either sleeveless or what, like with very loose sleeves. Um, and Libby, it's made up in in a white color that the gambeson is, I think, just undyed linen, so it's sort of a cream color. But this is nice and it's shiny. It's white like your coat. And on the front and on the back, there's the big red medical cross. Um, and there are the words healer written on the back and on the front. And there's several other symbols that I guess inmate could roll history or intelligence to see if they can figure out what they are. And I guess Hawthorne could roll two
Hawthorne has
if
no
he wanted.
stats still,
That's valid. Um,
but inmate got a 15.
15. 15, I think 15 makes sense because a couple of these words and symbols and stuff are in languages you understand, and they are other, basically other languages and other, versions of functionally the same message that, you are, a healer, you are someone who will help, and you're someone who's not here to fight. You're here someone who is, here to, take care of others and is not, non-combatant medic. Basically, is the summary of all of the different symbols and words and languages and stuff like that.
All right. Um. Wait. Did you say that Libby already like threw this on inmate, or it's inmate?
She's she's shoving it at them.
Okay.
It's I think, yeah, it was probably folded neatly at some point, but in her grabbing it and bringing it over to you, it's gotten a lot thing. Actually, I don't think it says healer on it. I think it just straight up says doctor. Um,
Doctor.
yeah,
Yeah,
it says
that.
doctor.
I think that would be a safer thing than just straight up healer.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, and because Libby, because that's the term Libby knows that inmate uses.
and they kind of look it over, like they like unfold it, uncrumple it
Mm-hmm.
or whatever, and like look it over before uh they e- eagerly for them put it on.
Uh, does Libby recognize like the eagerness, or is that a role thing?
Uh, I I think if you want, we can just say that Libby can notice because, like, again,
Hmm.
Libby has spent quite a
Her
bit of
wisdom's not great.
time. She
Mm-hmm.
has spent quite a bit of time next to this poor doctor.
Well, if she doesn't, she's going to ask, actually. So whichever interaction you would like better, that like she realizes the inmate did, or that like she's not sure and she's a little nervous because she is a little nervous.
uh, if you want to ask, go for it.
I will. I'll roll insight and we'll see
Oh
what the
boy,
dice say. 13.
13. Yeah, you.
I think with a 13.
I think. I think.
Yeah.
I think with the 13, you would have noticed that there is a bit of quickness to their movement. Um,
Ah. He's like, so is that good? Does that work for you? I didn't I didn't is that all right? Uh I
they
just sort of
they
had it made and I thought,
they finally have it like on completely, and they look it down and like kind of like smooth out the fabric, and they look it over, and there's doctors written all over it, man. uh
doctor in Elvish, doctor in Dwarven, doctor in Grolic somehow, doctor in Ventrilo, doctor in just all of the languages, doctor in all the languages.
um uh eventually they say, they look up at Libby, and they say, I think this would work just fine. uh
Libby stops her anxious rambling. Sorry, go, go, go.
I think with a 13 there is a noticeable lightness in their tone. Libby, you
Mm-hmm.
might get the sneaking suspicion that they like this.
She's like, it, okay, so it's good. You like it. That's good. That's good. I just it was an idea I had and I got excited and I didn't really um I I just had it done and I didn't ask and I okay, good.
Libby, it's
Huh?
this is this is wonderful.
She's smiling really big at you and I don't think you've really heard her um laugh before. Usually she's pretty serious and not like she doesn't really show her nervousness, but she's smiling really big open mouth Muppet born smile at you. She's like, I good. Good. I'm glad. Um I wanted to yeah. I'm glad. She uh she holds out her hand for you to shake.
Inmate inmate looks at the hand um uh for a brief moment. There's like this look in their eyes, like they just um like they've seen something like this before, and then they just take your hand in theirs, and
She oh,
I guess shake it.
it's like, oh no, am I triggering a memory roll?
No.
Uh, thank goodness. Um,
But I will
yeah,
say, I will tell you what you do trigger. um,
well, she
uh,
might trigger it more.
inmate. I'm debating whether or not to have them ask right now, and I think with previous portions of this conversation, now might be as good a time as any. But they shake Libby's hand, and um, inmate 01 asks, Libby, this may be a bit odd of a question, but are we friends?
Error 404. uh, uh, Libby just kind of blanks out a little bit. Like, she freezes and she's like processing this question. She's like, I, um, I don't know. Are we?
I understand that there is a bit of a professional distance considering the situation that we are currently in, but I did not want to assume, so I thought it would be better to ask. But you did do all of this for me when you did not have to.
Yeah, but I wanted to. Oh, hmm. She looks genuinely thoughtful. She like pulls her hand back and she adopts like the thinking pose. She's like, I don't know. Are we friends? Is she's talking to herself? Are we friends? Is this friend? I guess I yeah. It I okay. So I don't um uh I don't know. But think I think it could be. If you wanted it to be. Do do, do you want to be friends?
If you find that agreeable, I would enjoy that.
Well, yeah. Then I'm down for it. Um, full disclosure, I don't actually know much about being friends with people, but um
I'm gonna roll a quick charisma. I'm gonna roll a quick charisma. Just pray for this doctor. Oh, 11, that's not. 11's is an average roll. I'm just gonna say,
11's an average roll.
um, for like a brief second, there is the twitch of a smile on their face, but it is so brief, you're not completely sure if you saw it.
incredible. I love them. She's like, I don't really, yeah, yeah, we, um, yeah, I guess we can be friends. I'll do my best to, to figure out how to do, yeah, we can be friends. We're friends. That's a good idea. Very good idea, I think.
They nod.
The bee nods back. She's nodding. She's continuing to nod. She's still nodding.
I will be honest. I also don't quite. The closest to friends were that I have ever had were fellow doctors at the hospital I used to work at in Faruma.
Oh, thank God. Not that it's good that like you like no you need like I'm pretty you're not okay. Not that it's good that you haven't had other friends or other like interacted with basically anyone at all, which is bullshit by the way. That's a fucking disaster, a whole mess. But good because I don't know what I'm doing either. And if you don't know you're doing and I don't know what I'm doing, then at the very least we're at the same friendship level together. I think that's you know what I'm saying fuck it and calling it a friendship level of learning. I don't know, experience, whatever. And that way, we both if I fuck up, then like you won't like you can't judge me because I don't know, whatever. We can figure it out together. How does that sound?
That sounds agreeable.
Uh, she holds out her hand to shake again.
They take it.
Friends, doctor.
Libby.
I think that's a good place to end it.
That is a wonderful place to end it. Oh my god, Tread.
Ah!
uh,
They're really good.
they are really, really good. Thank you all so much for listening in.
Oh yeah, there's an audience technically still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, for those of you who are listening, and oh, that was so wonderful. And thank you, Trad, for doing this with me.
Thank you, Avi, for doing this with me. I love the doctor so much. I hold them very soft. But yes, thank you to everyone listening live and everyone who will be listening in later. I know at least one of you will be. Hello, Wild. Um, anyway, so yeah, I guess just signing off then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye. Bye. Where's okay.